Right then, so here we are with my... Where am I now? So this is now the 22nd of November 2020. So I am now 13 months post FUE hair transplant operation. And as you can see, I've got hair. So listen, anybody who's been following this and watching the videos, obviously you'll see the sort of journey what I've been on. Jump straight to the chase. Am I happy with it? Absolutely. Yeah, you know, more than happy. The reason I've waited till now is they basically tell you that it's month 12 before you see full results, okay? So at month 12 is where you get to the point where you can fully assess it. Until then, this, you know, there's a lot of nerves. Listen, trust me, we've been through it all. Month 3, month 4, where you're twitchy. Week 5, when it starts the shedding phase and things like that. But they say to you, just trust the process and go with it. And that's why I want to jump on now. I want to literally show people, look, this is where I am. You can see if I lift that up, I think I've got a very natural looking hairline. Very, very happy with the results. And I'll just turn around because obviously I got these front bits done here and here at both sides because I had the good old traditional McDonald's M, and I got my crown done as well. So I'll show you now. Obviously with the crown doesn't grow quite as thick, but I'll show you what it is. And I've got, listen, I'm literally fresh out the barbers today as well, so this is quite a harsh light, but I wanted to show exactly what you're going to see at this stage, and this will go through. So obviously as I spin round, this is the donor area at the sides and round the back. Obviously the donor area being where they take the hairs from for the FUE transplant, and you'll see at the back, you know, you will see here that there's a bit of marks here, and I'll come to that in a second as to why it's like that. Hopefully you can now just see, obviously I got my crown done. I had a double crown, so of course it's always going to be thinner than the front. I'll just show you as I spin back around and I can talk to you again. But yeah, so the crown is never as thick as the front. Obviously when they're seeing how many grafts they can do and what area they've got to cover, you're always going to be slightly thinner on the back. So my crown isn't completely covered. Am I happy with it? Yes, it's a lot better than it was. And it's now at the point where I would see that in a picture and be completely comfortable with that. To me, it just looks natural. And prior to the operation, it was thinning fast. So that was a massive pain point to me. You know, I was one of them that was conscious of where I sat at an event, or you went to a wedding or something and who sat behind you and is that big light on the back of my head because I've got that monk spot coming out, whereas now I'm just happy with what it is. So yeah, I'll just touch on like I said, that you can see a little bit of, I think there's a little bit of scarring from the donor area, and if I'm being really honest with you, that is my fault. I went far too early to the barbers and let him clipper the sides and the back of my hair. And I knew as soon as he started doing it that I'd gone too early. So again, always pay attention to the advice. I think the advice is wait at least 4 to 6 weeks. Again, check with your clinic and get the actual advice. But I went in too soon. I think after a couple of weeks, I wanted things tidying up, and I let him run clippers at me. It was certainly within the first month, I think it was. And I felt pain as he put the clippers on it. So that was all that was. So I just didn't want you to think, oh, look at that after 13 months. And don't forget, this is literally, I came out the barbers 5 hours ago, so this is very fresh. So, you know, in a couple of days, you're not going to see any of that. It's not, you know, nobody ever mentions that or sees it. This is what you get the hair transplant done for. So where did I go? I went to a clinic called Istanbul, obviously based in Istanbul, in Turkey. The questions I get all the time, obviously everybody, when I first started documenting this, is their biggest concern, is it even working? Because it was such a drastic change for me, because I'm not somebody that's even shaved his hair before. I've never had a skinhead. Nobody's ever seen me with no hair. But I just decided at the last minute when I was there, I was hiding, you know, nobody knew I was going, only a couple of people. And at the last minute, I just thought, how am I going to hide this when I get back? And I thought the easiest way to face it, all the piss taking, all the normal grief you're going to get from the lads and everything else, I just turned my camera on and I started to document the whole thing. So that's where all this came from. So if you go to my Instagram, you will see I've got videos literally from the day before the operation, the build up to it, my thoughts on that, the actual process itself. But, you know, today's just to answer a few of the questions. Like I said, people message, you know, where did you go? How did you choose your clinic? I simply chose the clinic because I knew a couple of lads that had been to the same place. So when I was Googling myself, as I'm sure you'll do the same thing, you know, all these websites look amazing and they've all got these amazing before and afters. For me, how do you trust? How do you know? You know, it's like you can read so many reviews and everything, but all I wanted was somebody I knew, somebody that I could speak to, and somebody that said, yes, this is where I went, this is what I thought of the hospital, yes, the hotel was decent, and that's how I came across Esther Perry, because the main thing is, of course, I'm looking at the results of the lads that went. So I'd be more than happy to recommend this, and that's why we've set up this thing now, where we're actually a little booking agent for Esther Perry. Because it's one of them where there was a lot of questions I wanted answering on the journey, going over there, things that I couldn't find before I went, where hopefully now you guys can reach out and ask anything what you want. I'm not a surgeon, I'm not an expert on it, I'm just a guy who went to Turkey, probably sat in the shoes you're in now, and went to Turkey and got the hair transplant done. So let's answer some of the main questions. Does it hurt? Yes. Listen, it's not the operation that hurts, don't get me wrong, but you have pain-killing injections, obviously to apply the anaesthetic, the local anaesthetic, for them to then operate. You know, don't forget, it is an operation what you're having, right? It's quite a serious operation, really. It's time-intensive, and on your body, there's a lot of work going on. So your body has to react to this, but those needles in your head, they are painful. I'm not going to come on here and fluff it up and say, you know, once it's out, listen. They are painful. Everybody who has been says the same thing, right? Once the needles that are applied, the anaesthetic, they are painful. But of course, once they are in, then your head goes numb and then you don't feel it. So the actual operation itself is fine, right? So that I want to clear that up, because people are like, oh, it hurts. And I think when you say it was painful, they think, you know, for the whole operation, you're in pain while they're doing it. It's not that at all. For me, it was just simply the needles, the pain came, and then your head goes numb. And then it's just, you know, look, it's a long day. It can be uncomfortable at times. But what I liked about it was I was in a room on my own. You've got your team around you. You're allowed full access to your phone. You're picking up your phone, playing with your phone, doing whatever you want on it. So absolutely recommend to anybody, you know, prep yourself. If you're getting the front and back done, it all depends on what you're getting done, how long you're going to be laid on that bed. But prep for a long day, lads, especially if you're getting large areas covered, all right? I needed both. So I was there for a good 8 hours on the bed. You get a break for lunch and everything, you know, you can go to the toilet, but stick something on your phone that you're going to watch. I'm a massive fan of audiobooks and podcasts, you know, things like Joe Rogan, 3-hour podcast, fantastic. Also, the room I was in, they actually had a TV on the ceiling, which was great because they just pass you the remote control. You laid on your back and you can put TV on and flick through and find anything. So it's just, once you get in the mindset of passing the time, it's all right. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's a walk in the park and you're just going to love it and let's go down there for fun. But ultimately, it all comes back to this. And the question always comes back to me now, was it worth it? 100% it was worth it. Would I do it again? Absolutely 100% yes. Because whatever I went through to get to this stage now, it was nothing of the, and there will be lads watching this who know exactly what I'm talking about. Just the fear and the pain inside of when you just feel that hair receding and you know your hair is going, there is nothing worse. And it's just because it's out of your control. You know, if you're losing shape, you can go to the gym. If you're putting weight on, you can watch your diet. Once your hair starts to fall out, you just feel like it's something that is drastically changing your appearance and there's nothing you can do about that. Well, now, thankfully, there is. Now, of course, again, lads, listen, if you're going bald and you're happy going bald and it suits you, fair play to you. I wished I was one of them that could just shave it off. I used to say that years ago. It took me loads of time getting ready. But this is where I am, all right? Going bald is not for everybody. So I just wanted to jump on, do this. This is my real update now. This, you know, it's not going to change drastically anymore going forward. I think I pretty much got the full results. I'm completely happy with it. Like I say, it was a clinic called Esther Perry. I'll put the link down below somewhere on this video for you so you can click and have a look. You get the information. Feel free to reach out and put a message in the comments. Ask me any questions. I get loads of people messaging me, so do not worry about that. You're not going to be the first ones. You can ask anything about the clinic. The hotel's 5 stars. You know, the transfers and everything are included. The package is great. You don't need to pay a deposit. But listen, anyway, the packages and stuff we can talk about in the future. I just wanted to come on here today because everybody wants to know the same thing. They want to see the results. So I'm just pulling that up to the light. Obviously, you know, people ask about the texture of the hair. I've always had a natural kink in my hair anyway. But there you go. That is my actual hairline now. So yes, I am very, very happy with it. 13 months in, FUE transplant I had. And there you go, guys.